Hello, my name is Samantha Padgett, General Counsel for the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. It is my pleasure to tell you today about all the exciting activities here in Tallahassee during the fourth week of Florida's 2019 legislative session. Probably one of the biggest issues we were dealing with this week was the funding of Visit Florida. Those provisions were present in both the General Appropriations Acts in the House and the Senate bills that were heard this week. In the House, Visit Florida is funded only to the level of $19 million, which would give them enough money to operate through October. In the Senate, they have funded Visit Florida at over $50 million. As you can see, these proposals are very far apart.
In the Panhandle of Florida, Hurricane Michael was devastating. We need Visit Florida to help tell that story, to combat the negative impressions that we see across the world. So thank you for your time. I'm asking you to reauthorize Visit Florida and fully fund us.
Every family in the state of Florida can thank our visitors and our tourists because they save $1,549 a year, money in their pocket that they do not have to pay because of the visitors to our state that generate so much revenue. So my request for you today, as you go into the conference process, is to please reauthorize Visit Florida. We do great work and you would miss us. And to fully fund Visit Florida at $76 million. Thank you.
This continues to be an issue. We will continue to watch it and keep you posted on what we can expect for Visit Florida in the coming months and years. Probably one of the most popular issues that we hear from our members about, especially in the lodging industry, is short-term rentals. Both the House and Senate proposals were scheduled to be heard this week. The Senate proposal was temporarily postponed, and we expect that it will get pulled up next week. In the House, the bill was heard and it was passed. And what this bill says is that they will regulate short-term rentals solely from the state level and preempt local regulation of all short-term rentals. As you can imagine, this causes communities, local governments, and some of our hoteliers a great deal of consternation. From our perspective as an industry, we understand that short-term rentals are part of visitation and lodging options in Florida. But we feel that there should be a level playing field. And that since we are providing the same services to Florida's visitors, we should all operate under similar regulations and certainly pay all of the same taxes. We will continue to fight for our position in the House and the Senate and keep you posted on how those issues are progressing. We continue to talk about straws here in Tallahassee, and a straw preemption has passed in 2 forms in the House. We also talked about attorney's fees this week. But this means that if we as private companies have to sue local governments because they have violated a clear state preemption, we can now recover attorney's fees and costs. Also, let's talk about human trafficking. We'd seen great movement on the Senate side with Senate Bill 540 going through its first 2 committees, and now we finally see movement on the House side. Representative Fitzenhagen passed her human trafficking bill through its first stop. This bill would require human trafficking prevention training for all those working in the hospitality industry. In previous weeks, we've talked to you about the issue of predictive scheduling, or as we would like to say, restrictive scheduling. The House bill on conditions of employment made it through its second stop this week. We had an opportunity to share with the committee why we feel this bill is so important.
We think that this will preempt to the state so they can regulate in those areas where that regulation is necessary, but when it's not necessary, that the business can decide for itself how to manage that relationship, and in that become the most competitive and the most successful, both as a business and for its employees. And we ask for your support on this good bill.
We're very pleased at the progress of this bill and hopeful for its success. We hope to see the Senate bill pulled up next week in its next committee of reference. It's the end of week 4, but there's a lot of session left to go. Please follow the latest at FRLA.org and follow us also on social media on Facebook and Twitter.